Okay, I just thought I would do a video. In the Discord. I've updated a few things, but I just wanted to show I'm on the hour. You can clearly see it's an uptrend. There's a huge big gap here, so it could possibly come down to this area. All right. And if I go on the 15-minute, okay, there's this pattern here that broke. All right. So it's been making high highs, high lows, break a structure, made a high high, made another high high. So it could be coming down to create a higher low. Trading doesn't have to be difficult. Look at this trend line here. Look at that overall trend. It's going up. Now it looks like it's coming down to this area. Right? You see in here. Right? Comes here. It might bounce up to make a lower high here. And it might, if it breaks here, it might continue down to make a lower high. Right? And if you see this, I use my patterns, right? Wedges, break a structure, right? So in here, there is a trend line here. It's a bullish pattern, right? We have a breaker structure. We have another breaker structure. We have another breaker structure. The market is in an uptrend. This here broke this. It's coming down, right? As the market moves in waves, right? Bounced off here, broke through here, right? And the market just repeats itself over and over again. And you see this bullish pattern in here as well. Bullish pattern. Bullish pattern, right? Up she goes, breaks this, up she goes. Even in here, up she goes. There's another one in here. Right? So looking at all the time frames, right? Breaks this structure, just pushed on through. And the market just repeats itself on everything. And what you want to have is a trending market. When it breaks out, boom, breaks out, boom. This here broke this. I think I put it in the chat too, right? So same with what Rainier has taught me a lot, a lot. He's a brilliant trader. Whatever, if you put this on, okay, what do you see? What do you see here? See high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, break of structure. Right, so here was a buy, there was a buy. Right, so in here it's come to a zone. Right, put your trend line, that's what I do. Put my trend line here. It's coming around, we made a higher low here. Right, we came out of this here, break of structure, up. Another bullish pattern, right? Where's it heading to? It broke the structure. Look at the candles. Big, fat, flat Heikinasha candles. Break a structure, pushes up, makes a higher high. Comes here. Now, if this respects this area, then you can get in for a buy. And it just repeats itself. So these zones in here, right? These zones are like magnets. When you have your supply and resistance, whatever trading platform you're on, right? If you have, you have your areas here, right? If you're in an uptrend, right here, okay, this, right? It's been just pumping up, but these, if there's a zone here where price pushed up, right? Let's just move this over here. If this breaks this, right, and continues to go down, it might come up a bit further before it starts selling off a little bit. It might not sell, it might just keep on going. It might break this and go. Right? But in here, right, here is a zone in here. If price was to sell down, right, however it does because it moves in waves, comes down and bounces at these zones where price pushes up. Okay, where's it heading to? This zone where price was before. If it breaks this, it will sometimes consolidate. Sometimes the market will just do what it did with the last break and push straight through, and then just keep on going. But these zones are like magnets. So when you look at this here, where did it come to? Up to this zone. Right? To the zone here. Boom, boom, boom. Do that bullish pattern. Bullish pattern breaks through. Look at the Heikin-Ashi candles, fat and flat. Beautiful. Can't see it on here, but if this was a bullish pattern, right, I'm going to be buying. Market just repeats itself over and over again. Whatever you see people put on their charts, like right here, right? Okay, if you have a look in here, okay, there was one in here put in here, in here, right? You have a look at this chart. What's this doing here? It's above the moving averages, right? See in here? What's my thing? Right? See how these moving averages are nicely apart, right? They're like this. They're like this, right? There's a space between them. In here, this crossed over. Very, very high probability when it breaks this, it does a quasi, creates a bullish pattern, right? And we've created a zone here above the moving averages. The moving averages, the 34, right? The 34 and the 50, and this is a 34 EMA, and the 50 S simple moving average, right? Look how they're nicely apart. Then it comes together, what happens? We have a bullish pattern on a zone, right? Okay, here, the files are all in the NinjaTrader automation. It just repeats itself. Repeat. Trading doesn't have to be difficult. Right here, what do we have? We have a breaker structure. Boom. Right? We have an uptrend. Look at this beautiful trend. Right? You're in here. You stay in this because this here is trending very heavy. What happens now? The moving averages are in between. Right? We're consolidating in this area. The market repeats this consolidation, impulse up, consolidation. and then it breaks out with structure, right? We have a break of structure here, boom. But look at the Heikin-Ashi candles, they're like this, right? Over here is fat and flat, right? It's got this no wick, right? These are fat and flat and delicious, right? Okay, you have a look on the next chart. What do we have? We have a pullback, right? Into this area. What are we? We're making highs, high lows, high highs, right? This high high. It's higher than this, higher low. Retests, higher low, right? Where the moving averages cross over, right? And then in here we have a buy. Boom, 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 boom. It has a little stall because it's hit this area. This is a breaker structure. All right. So in here, right, look to the left. What do you see to the left? This area here is all price. Breaks, makes a high, pulls back. This is probably a fib level as well. Fib. Okay. We've got this all green retesting on here. We get the buy, we get the flat Heikin-Ashi candles, we enter the trade. We stay in this. Right. What I do is I put my trend line on. Okay, trend line. And you can trail this. However you trail it. The automation has already a trailer in there. Right? But you can also trail with these. See this here? It's a super trend. Okay, and it is in here. I'll show you where it is. In here, I don't know why there was no pin message. It says it's a pin message. There's no pin message. This here is pin now. In here, this is the automation, the NinjaTrader files, right? Okay, but it has no automation because I'm not giving that away for free. Right? That's for paid members, right? The automation part, right? You can come in here and download these. These were in here. See this here, right? This, see the supply and demand, right? The supply and demand is in there. This one that you can trail on that as well, right? There's all kinds of different indicators in there, okay? But the actual automation, right, that triggers these buys, that is not in there because that's for paid members, okay? If you want that and you don't have the automation, right, what I do is I just trigger it when I see this, right, okay, I see there's an uptrend, I wait for the pullback, wait for the pullback. There's a zone. I'm always looking to the left, to the left. I only put my automation on buys, and then I can trail it on automation, or you can actually put it on here. Now, I was going to put this in with the when I got the programmer as a trailer, but I had problems with it when I was copy trading. Okay, that's the only reason. Otherwise, he would have put on there. But you can trail on that as well, right? The goal here is that you're getting your daily profits. Okay. But it's not hard. It's, when you're looking at the market, right? If the market is making trends like this, and it has a little bit of a consolidation, and this is brewing, it's like a brewer, right? Cooker. What's it doing? High highs, high lows. Look to the left. Or is there anything to the left where it could be, there might be an area here on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, where price wants to come up to, right? Because we are selling at a higher price here, right? Okay, these zones, these supply and demand, right? The market just repeats itself on everything, on any instrument, on any asset, on any currency pair, or anything. It just does the same thing, right? But when you have on, because we're on the 1 minute time frame, right? If this here, right, from the 15 minutes pulling back, right, and it starts curling around and it's coming out from a zone, heading to a zone, right? This here is where we're looking for buys only. This here, we're waiting for the market to show direction. Normally, in the volatile, well, I've seen gold do it. Actually, lately I've seen it do it in a session, right? When it breaks out, right? And this is where, we're going to watch what happens. Of course, there's pullbacks on a higher time frame, on the 1 hour, right? But overall, it's buying. So when you go down to the smaller time frame, and this might be having a pullback to retest, right? And when it turns around, I go to my 1 minute, and you can see on the charts like Rainier, right? 1 minute entries, right? And that's when I'll say, oh, look, it's created quasi. In other words, a quasi, right? It just hasn't made a lower low. The market is turning around to go around, right? And then I look for my bullish patterns. Wedges is a squeeze. The price has to go somewhere. Or it could be in a up like this, it pulls back, and then up she goes. Right? Then there'll be a break of structure. Right? We're in an uptrend. We've turned around. The moving averages have crossed. Right? So when this crossed over, right, this crosses over, right, and you start an uptrend, then this makes a higher high, higher low. It doesn't make a lower low, right? This downtrend has ended. So now we're going up, and on the smaller time frame, we're looking for those pullbacks. Now I look for patterns myself, or it could be just a consolidation box, right, where it has to break out of. But in here, the market comes up, curls around with a moving average, and up she goes again. So it comes back into the moving average and goes out. Right? And it's probably coming up to a zone. So there'll be a break of structure as well. So here's an entry, right? Here's an entry, and I'm looking at the fat, flat Heikin-Ashi candles, right? If I see that it's like this, and there's a wick here and a wick here, and then a doji cross, this I don't like. I want to see gusto pushing out, right? It's coming out here, right? Oh, hang on. All right. What are my Heikin-Ashi candles? Look at let's go to see this breaker structure, right? Breaker structure here. Now, we'll have a look at the Heikin-Ashi candles. Right? They're fat and flat. Right? Let's zoom right in. Right? Bullish pattern, fat and flat Heikin-Ashi. Right? This is a way of break and retest. Look, as you can see. Right? Breaks, pulls back, retests, continues up, break structure. This is on the 1 minute. what do you see? You just all buys, 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 buys. So you go with the flow. So when you put on the, worry about that. Okay. Just, all right. So in here, right, here is your breaks in here. Right? What do we see? The price is above, right? We're looking, this is for the trading view here. Right? What are the moving averages doing there? And look how they start separating here. We're making highs, higher lows, right? And look, even in here, there's a bullish pattern. Boom. Okay. And up she goes. And look at the moving average. Moving averages are very, very nice. They're apart. See in here? Apart. So this is where you want to hold your trades because the momentum has built up, right? Like that's, the difference when I go in for a quick scalp, like from here to here can be $50, right? If you have it on MGC or, you can have a boom that can be $50. Boom, boom, right? But when you get this opportunity when the market does this, you can see in here, right? Right? It's just about, it's making a higher high, higher low. It's squeezing in here. What are the moving averages doing? You just buy with the trend. The trend will tell you if it's going to go down. You'll see this will just, it will do the opposite, right? This will cross over, right? On the 5 minute, you'll see there's a definite trend, right? But in here, this is breaking, retesting where it came out from. Builds up, builds up, builds up the steam. The pressure cooker has to release, right? Has to release, 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 release. Boom, right? Okay. There's easy. Go with it, right? Go with the go. You can hold this. Hold this. Look, it's green on here as well. Right? Okay. Me, I go in here. Right? These are buys, but it's still a bit funny. See how it's all mixed colors? It's, this market, when you see this consolidation and it comes in a uptrend, right? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Whee! You have to have patience, but you can, I'm only going to go in an uptrend here, right? These here, right? Boom. There's money here. There's my money, right? Boom. There's my money. Boom. There's my money. I don't care about this pullback because I'm on micros. I just come down here. If it's green, I get in. This here above. We want it above the moving averages, but you want to see, is there any resistance? Is there any support? Normal, logical trading. Right? But this here, beautiful. Right? It's all green on this as well. And you can stay in. And the sim dots that I use on NinjaTrader. In here, these are, I don't have it on right now, but these are, these ones here, right? I'm just about to go and share how to trade with these as well. But you just repeat like exactly how Rainier, how he says in here. You just rinse and repeat, right? Right. Where are they? Where is it? Rinse and repeat. Where did he say it? Is it just rinse and repeat? Anyway, there you go. It's very, look, the 34 and the 50, right? Taishon, sorry, Taishon. He said, look, these 34 and 50, you put it on your chart. He told me about it. He said, put this on. Look how clear this is. Right? He's been trading a long time as well. He's a good trader. Right? Because I was using nothing wrong with it. I was using the 25 and the 50 and the 100, nothing wrong. But when I saw that on the minute chart, right, it crossed over and price, right, was above, right, up here. And this started, you'll see it goes out, right, and there's a space in between there. And you can very clearly see the trend. And then it comes together, right? Then it might pull back because the market moves in waves, and then it just does it again, right? And your job as a trader is to find when it breaks out of this consolidation for those runs that make you a lot of money, right? But in between there, I mean, this could be a scalp in here as well because we're in an uptrend. Okay, but here, break, market comes up, break, market comes up, right? And in here, it can pull back, retest, consolidate, break out, right? And in here, put these ones in here, buys, 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 buys. And if it's going the other way, right, the market turns around, right? This here on the 3 minute will cross over, the 1 minute will cross over, and we're looking for sells, and we're looking for the same thing, this apart, right? It'll start like this first, and then you'll see it just continues because it is lagging. Moving averages are lagging. And then it starts coming together, right? Because it's had an impulse down, correction, impulse down. You'll see, and then I'll do these patterns in here. Right? It could be a wedge. It could just be a box. And then the market continues down. If you're on my live session, I said, just with the, I think it was NASDAQ. So just clear, right? And it was in a downtrend. It had made all these lower lows and it had consolidated just a little bit here, right? And I said, if it starts breaking down, you can get into a sell because it's just continuing the sell. And you saw the sell, the sell, the sell, the sell. Right? Okay. Then the sniper, it said sell, sell, sell. Right? And you look to the left. What's to the left? And there was no turnarounds. Right? And if the market doesn't want to, and it breaks this trend and it starts curling up, right? And the moving averages cross over, right? Then we could have either a retracement, right? A heavier retracement before continuing down, right? And then here, if it breaks this trend, I'm looking for a quick buy. Right? And whatever patterns I have in here is what, if I get another buy, I'll get in. Right? I'm looking to the left. Where's it getting to? This broke out. Right? It broke out of this zone to sell to a zone. Okay? And it just repeats itself. And the more that you put it on your chart and just watch what price does, it's pretty amazing. Okay. Auf Wiedersehen.